The chair of the House Judiciary Committee is Jim Jordan, and he joins me now. Congressman, you said the DOJ subpoenaed your personal phone records in 2022. When this investigation goes through, can you pin the blame for this? Can you impose accountability on this?
Well, we know that they knew it was wrong because the Department of Justice has now changed the policy. You can no longer do this to members of Congress. So deep down they knew it was wrong, but they didn't think they'd be caught. And then if they did get caught years later, no big deal. They weren't going to charge them. And there's actually an email that said, we're not going to charge these people. They're not going to know. Let's go ahead and do it. But it was wrong. I mean, think about this. They go get the Speaker of the House. Kevin McCarthy becomes Speaker of the House 16 days later. They go get his phone records for a 2-month time period from Election Day 2020 until January 7th, 2021. They know who called him, when the call took place, how long it lasted, and if Kevin McCarthy initiated it, they know where he was located when he did so. You can pattern a person's life, and this person is the guy second in line to the president. This is the top Republican in government. You know who he's calling before big votes, who he's calling after, when he calls his family. I mean, that is not appropriate, and they know it. That's why the policy is now changed.
Were they trying to create a conspiracy around January the 6th?
I think so, and I think the Justice Department is looking into that issue and a whole host of other things that started clear back 10 years ago with the whole dossier and all that. You know, it was dossier, and then it was he was spying, then it was Mueller, impeachment 1, impeachment 2, Alvin Bragg, Fonnie Willis, Artie Cross, Jack Smith, raiding President Trump, all that. I think that's a conspiracy, and I think the Justice Department's looking at all that, which I think is appropriate.
Fair enough. Your colleague, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, along with her husband, they're under investigation over questions surrounding their finances. Her husband's business ventures jumped from a value of $51,000 to $30 million in 1 year. You're on the Oversight Committee. Is it possible there will eventually be criminal charges?
Again, it's way too early for that. Chairman Comer started this investigation. We'll see where it leads. We'll see what may happen with the Ethics Committee, which typically looks at things like this when it involves a member of Congress and their family and their interactions there. But it is sort of suspicious on the surface. We'll just have to see how that all plays out as we move forward with the investigation there in the Oversight Committee.
One more, if I may. You have subpoenaed 8 Affordable Care Act health insurers. Yeah. You're investigating subsidy-related fraud. What exactly are you looking for?
Well, I think we need to back up and first of all remember, everything we were told about Obamacare turned out to be false. Remember when they said you like your plan, you can keep your plan, you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, and premiums will go down. They were 0 for 3. And now we find out from government watchdog reports that there looks like all kinds of fraud taking place. Multiple times the same Social Security number is used in a year to sign up for something. Individuals signing up repeatedly throughout the year because the broker gets a commission. So we want to try to figure out what exactly is going on in this whole fraud area that I think is even more on Americans' mind in light of what took place up in Minnesota and was discovered there. And I think other thing that's really important, the Department of Justice has now created a Deputy Attorney General, Colin McDonald, who is focused, I met with him last week, totally focused on the fraud, the rampant fraud that exists in so many programs. We're trying to help get to the bottom of all that. That's why we sent the subpoenas.
Can you get the money back?
Let's hope so, because it's a lot of money. When I talked with Mr. McDonald last week, the guy at the Justice Department, the point person on this, he thinks it's hundreds of billions of dollars that the American taxpayers are getting ripped off on, people just stuffing it in their pockets like was going on up in Minneapolis.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. My goodness me. Jim Jordan, thanks very much for being on the show today, Jim.